Well, these are some of the first pieces I made. The really interesting thing is they're all made with one piece of monofilament, which is strung over a long period of time. And it brings me closer to God because when I make a mistake, I talk to God a lot about, and sometimes you do make a mistake. My work is essentially about tension, organizing tension, finding the surfaces of things. You'll see as we go on that the faux surface is what's important to me. I started this in 1972 when we bought a house out here. This is a 4x4 piece on stainless steel. All of these holes were measured by me, drilled by hand in a 3-step process with a center punch drilled. This was aluminum bar that I hand polished, and it would take too long to tell you the amount of processes that went through here, but there were about 7 different processes to make this work. This is called Arjuna because I'm doing some Mahabharata thinking. To change the piece. This is a piece called Argo, and I was working in lucite then a lot, and this is on a piece of reflective formica with hand polished aluminum on, and as you can see, there's a reflection in there which makes this whole item seem to be floating somehow. And that's really important to me because I wanted things to be, where are they? Where are they standing? Are they here? Are they there? Change. This is the center of the last piece. That's hand polished aluminum, all hand drilled, one piece of monofilament in this whole piece. This is a lucite on, I guess on formica. Next piece. Monofilament has come a long way. This is a newly reflective kind of mono that I used on this particular piece. And one of the interesting things is that as you walk across the room, the light walks up the strands, and every time you walk by it, it's an illusion that it is moving, and it's not. This is hand-polished aluminum by me on formica. If you would change now. I wasn't always working with, didn't always work with monofilament. I tried to work with glass, and I did. This is plate glass, and I wanted, again, to seem to see it floating in space. This is a reflective surface, and of course the arcs that go into the back of it make it look as if they're disappearing into the distance. And this piece of glass, these 2 pieces of glass are held on as the 3/4 inch aluminum comes around by little, just about the size of your thumbnail of resin. And the resin is very, very sticky stuff. It's the kind of thing that when you have your teeth done and the dentist put that thing in your mouth at the end of the thing and it never gets done, that's what that's what holds the glass on. If you would change, please. And again, it's the idea of where's front, where's back, what's real, what are you looking at? And that's what I like. Next case. This is one of my favorite pieces. I call it Polaris. I don't know why, but I do. Again, these are 2 pieces of aluminum that are joined. Well, a V is cut in both opposite sides and stuck together. It's screwed to the back with 3/8 inch screws. 3/8. Well, I forget what it is. And then the design makes itself up. I do not work these things, change it. I do not work these things on a computer. They come out as they come out. I draw them generally freehand and wonder what the hell it's going to look like if I put things there. And I don't really see what it looks like until it's done. I don't always do balanced pieces, although I generally do. I realized when I started working on them that they are mandalas, they're meditations, you could call them, and they really settle you down. You're in the zone when you're working on those. I'll start working at 9 in the morning and suddenly, holy mackerel, it's 1 in the afternoon. And I haven't done a goddamn thing. If you change one, please. This is a piece. These are kind of interesting, those little circles that I cut out of 1/4-inch aluminum on a drill press. And the nylon in the monofilament has the ability to stretch a bit. So you can tie these again, turn it please. These little sleeves, where are they? Here, are used on fishing line to tie weights and to tie lines together. So I can tighten one of those and then put it through the corresponding one and really pull it like hell. And it actually tightens, so when I tighten the sleeve, it keeps the tension there. And that, if you press one of those things, it bounces back and forth for a goodly amount of time. Okay, now we're moving on. This is one that, this is a green monofilament, of course. I didn't have to point that out. Most of you can see it's green. And what I like about this is that you really see the trompe-l'oeil arc that's made up of straight lines. I love this thing, and the light really on this dances beautifully. Next, please. This is another one that is this format, and these are lucite rods that I drill in here and put them in. Aluminum cube. It depends on how you light this. This is actually half the depth, so it looks like there's a cube floating in the center, but it's really just half. If you would again, move it. And this really was quite a surprise when this came out. It just looked very, very. I liked it a lot. Next case. Next case. These are LED lights that when I first started these, I had to use fluorescent lights because LED lights didn't exist. And then after I got them all done, the dirty rats had to invent LED lights, and I had to change all the fluorescent lights to LED lights, the advantage being that if you buy one of these things, it'll be your grandchildren that have to change the bulbs. I discovered this kind of reflection quite by accident. Is that it? Well, then let's move along. Sorry. Again. This is, people have said when they saw these that I ought to have them made 25 feet tall. And I took a picture of it, what it would look like. There you see the little mannequin you could see in any kind of park. All of these works and the ones you'll see right now are available at fantastically expensive prices in my establishment, and I'm willing to part with almost any or all of them for the right price. Thank you so much. And now you're going to see some wonderful film made by that lady. And we'll have a question and answer. And a question and answer. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. No audio.
We got any?
Any questions for Bob?
Not too bad. I wish I knew who made that stuff.
What brought him to this medium? It's fascinating.
Excuse me, are you?
No, what
Are you a
brought,
bridge builder, or are you an engineer? How did you get into this?
They just started. I did have no engineering or architectural background at all.
Did you ever paint?
It's just fascinating that you think.
No, I'm not an artist like that. I just started fiddling around, and there's my clock that told me to quit. Anything else?
You say hand-polished aluminum, how does one, so
You
do that polish?
get polish, you sand it down fine, 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 and then you find it down finer, and then you get a grit of a paste that's a fine grit, and finer, 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 and then you go to the chiropractor and get your arm adjusted. It took me about 8 months to get that arm back to, I'll never do it again. Never. Never. And by the way, that's one of the things I didn't mention is that if you scratch the surface, it's out the window.
anyone else before we,
What? I don't know, anything.
any other questions?
So it's all self-explanatory.
Okay, I'm gonna get this over to you.